Then there are some links in the chat that we will get to later. Good morning. I'm Katie Page. Lori Abbott is helping me host today. Thank you, Lori. The first time I did this, I was like, that was a little rough without somebody running the chat and nice to have someone else on board. So thank you for doing that, Lori, today. We're going to talk today about some workflow things, and I want to start with safety and security. So I got an email from Magic School among 1,000 other vendors. And it's not that this data on this particular slide that I'm really concerned about because this is marketing from Magic School, but it did get me thinking about safety and security. And I think we should start anytime we're talking about AI with that conversation. So Magic School claims to protect our data, which is good news. ChatGPT, not so much. They want to use what you put in to help improve their large language, that model. So there are ways to turn that off so that we're not helping them improve their model by taking the things that you're putting into that system. I'm going to show you how to do that right out of the gate. So obviously you're watching me on something. If it's your laptop, I'm going to ask you to do this in just a second to opt out of the chat GPT so they don't take what you're putting in to that. Gemini is coming. The rumor is true. It's way slower than Chris Wazinski and I would love for it to happen. We would like to just check that box today. But there's pesky things like, district policy. So that's taking a little longer than I would like. I'm not going to put a date on it, but it will be soon. Gemini will be available to all of us on our across all of our Google platforms. And so I'll be sending out information about that. And our data is automatically protected under our Google Educator license for that one. So we won't need to worry so much about Gemini once we get rolling with that. But for Chat GPT, log in with your district credentials because we're going to be using it today. If you've never been, you can just Google the words chat and then GPT, and it'll come up. The name of the company is OpenAI. You're going to log in with your D214, and then in the upper corner where your Google picture is, you're going to click on that and go to settings. And then under the data controls, you're going to go to improve the model for everyone. And if you want to turn it off, then it will not use what you're putting in to improve the model. Now, what happens is it also doesn't save your history for as long. So once you start to use these platforms, it's nice because it gets to know what you do and the types of things you're doing, and it learns from the things you're putting in. And then you get sort of a shorthand with the chat bot. But if you're worried about, putting things in there, it's probably a good idea just to shut that off. So they're not learning from you. Okay, I thought we would start with a little bit of fun, but actually we're going to do a little bit of fun after I flip through the slides because I don't want to share a screen, unshare screen. I want to be cognizant of your time this morning. So we're going to come back to that fun piece at the end. So here are some ways I'm going to go through kind of quickly that you can use this technology for yourself to make your workflow, your life better. So for college recs, I've been having a lot of conversations with English teachers. They have a huge moral dilemma about telling their students to not use AI for writing, but then they're going to turn around and use AI for writing, right? They don't want to be hypocrites. But this is how I do it. I'm not having the chatbot write the college rec for me. I'm having it help me because I'm a physics teacher, terrible writer, but it's all my information that I am telling it. So I literally dictate. I turn on the microphone and I talk into like notes on your MacBook. You can have a microphone in there and talk, and I dictate after I have already asked the kid for what I want. I ask kids, why are they going to college? Why did they pick their major? What will they contribute to a college campus? I have very specific things that I ask kids for when I'm writing a college rec for them. I dictate it and just talk. So like if Lori were my student, I'd be like, Lori was in class. She was an excellent leader in lab, and I just blah, word vomit. And then I take my dictation and put it into the chat bot and have it help me sound better for a college rec. And then I go back in and edit from there. So do with that what you want. But I think as long as it is, you coming from you, it's okay to have it help you write and to polish. Again, you don't want to have any student data in there other than, first names are fine. You want to be careful of that. Gmail. Okay. Do you get a lot of email? Lori, do you get a lot of email? It's a joke. Every time I open my email, there are at least 40 new email. Okay, so Gmail, right? It overruns our lives. So there are lots of things you can do. This is one of the things I'm going to show you live today. But AI, generative AI, can help you draft an email, especially if you're like me and not great with the grammar. And especially if you're going to talk to parents, student feedback, meeting requests, things like that, you can ask it to make you a template that you can just keep on the side and use anytime you need it. If you haven't checked your email and you come back and holy cow, your PLC had a thread of 700 emails going back and forth, it will summarize it for you too. You want to make sure you take the personal information out until we get Gemini. Once we have Gemini, it'll be embedded. You'll be able to just click and it'll summarize it for you in one click. It's going to be amazing. Let's say you have like homecoming coming up or Spirit Week, or you're in charge of some club or something, and you're going to have to be sending out a series of emails to staff. You can make like an email campaign and it'll write the whole thing for you. You can tell it in week one, we're doing this, and week two, we're doing this, and it'll just have it ready to go for you and put an email for every week. There are some AI that already exists within Gmail that you may or may not be using that I can show you today as well, like filtering your email. You can filter conference emails coming in. I filter student emails coming in, and I have it labeled with a student little label on there so I know. You can change the view of your inbox so that you're only looking at unread. Just all sorts of things you can do with Gmail. I'm going to open that live too and show you how to do a few things later. What if you're planning prom? You can open up the chat bot and ask it, here's prom, here's what's going on, and it'll give you deadlines, assignments. You can make it incredibly specific to your particular project that's happening, down to what supplies do I need to purchase? Do I need streamers? What do I need? And how you could divvy that up between the adults and the students, giving it a timeline or whatever. And it will give you tasks and workloads and all of those sorts of things. I would do that for sure. If you have too many lists or calendars, you can pull things together. So if you use like Google Calendar and Trello and a task list, and then you're also your kid's soccer coach, and then you've got and then your other kid is in gymnastics, and you have all of these calendars and things, you can load PDFs of your calendars. Once we have Gemini, it will look at a link of your calendar if you let it. And it will organize and put all of these things together. I wish I would have had this when my kids were little. I could have taken all of their calendars, PDFs, just attach it and say, what does my week look like? And, let me know if I'm going to have any conflicts. Do I have to ask somebody to pick up my kid from school? Do my meal planning for me? You can throw all of that in there. Within the 214 calendar, you can turn calendars on and off if there are things you don't want to take a look at. You can color code, and you can ask it to give you a list of your daily tasks. You can actually automate it to email you a list of your daily tasks if that's something you want to do. I know I'm just tossing stuff at you to see what sticks. We're going to get to doing some of this live in a second. Cross-curricular. This is a really cool way to use this. Physics is often talking with math about what are you working on? Like what math do kids know already? Can I try this thing in physics? Have they already learned this math? So this would be a cool thing to do, is to get lesson plans at the beginning of the year, maybe just for the first couple units, get a PDF of the physics plan, get a PDF of the math plan, attach them both in OpenAI and say, where are there, crossovers that we could do like a cross-curricular unit, or where are there gaps? Is math teaching something 2 weeks behind when we were already hoping they knew it in physics, and can we rearrange? So it's excellent for alignment if you're doing those kinds of tasks. And then something that I just tried actually this week because I wanted to see what it looked like is at the end of the semester, I always ask my students to rate me. I tell them, oh, I've been grading you all year and I want you to grade me. And I ask them a bunch of questions, what can I do better? What did you really like? What units were good? How do you learn? Did I give you enough things for how you learn? Or what are the ways that you like? And so I took all of their responses without their names because I just wanted to know the information, threw it into Chat GPT and it summarized it for me. Which actually I was like, oh, I didn't realize like they were saying this thing over and over because your brain wants to go past some of those things. So I think this is a good tool. And actually, Lori, maybe tell your national board people about this one. It was very telling. It was a great way to summarize what was going on in my classroom. And then I know differentiating is not really workflow, but if it's taking you all day to do things, I was just going to throw that one in there too, like for EL students. I'm going to show you what I did to differentiate some lab instructions for a student that had gotten here just from Ukraine. Okay, so before I switch screens, I wanted to give you a chance if you would like PD hours for this session. I thought we would just pause for a second. Go ahead and you can scan that QR code with your iPad or your phone. Um, and if that is not functioning for you this morning, just send me a quick email and or just in the chat, and maybe Lori, you can make a little list. If you just want to put in the chat too that you need PD hours, I can just add you to the list. But I would appreciate if you scanned it because it also tracks like your school and all of that, all of the things that Jackie Martino needs to load in your PD hours. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go ahead and go over to chat. Don't worry, I'll put that back up at the end. Before I keep moving, questions. Questions. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. Here is, I'm going to start with the fun thing. Sorry, I'm trying to get this Zoom pane out of my way. It's not sharing, is it, Lori? One more time. How about now? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So what I did is in all of my learnings, this is the fun thing I wanted to show you, is that you can have like a role play or a debate with this generative AI. So for those of you who are really in any class and you want to have your students try this, I thought this would be fun. And so I just put in here, I'm a physics teacher and I want to provide my high school junior students with some history about Isaac Newton. I want them to know about what he contributed, blah, blah, blah. And it said, of course, here's a conversation with Isaac Newton that might go if you're introducing him. And so it started to play both sides. And then I was like, hold on a second. So I hit stop. There's a place you can hit stop. And I said, can we continue this conversation live? I ask you questions and you respond. And so I said, what made you decide to design a new telescope? And now, a fine question. Hello to you as well. And we went back and forth. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. I would kind of want to meet Iron Man. And so I did the same thing with Iron Man. And I did a little conversation with Iron Man. I want to pretend like I'm in one of the movies. And we went back and forth for a long time. I was having way too much fun with this. It's really great. Okay, but here's the translate for EL that I want to show you. So what I did is in the little bot here on the bottom, you will see, for those of you who have not tried it, there is a paper clip. And you can attach any kind of file. I am in Chat GPT, but this is also true for Gemini. You can go to google.gemini And it's the same thing, and there are lots of chatbots. But I'm an OpenAI. I have found that so far this one seems to be giving me the best results that I need. And so you can attach a PDF, you can attach a doc, a sheet, anything, whatever you want to attach, it can attach right here, and then you put your prompt. So what I did is I attached a physics lab and asked it to translate the instructions, and to put it to a fourth grade level for my student that was from Ukraine. And it did. It took the lab instructions only out of the doc, which was great. It didn't take like the analysis part or anything. I'd asked it just to do the instructions, and it did. Um, and then I said, okay, this is great. But then as I thought about it more, I thought maybe we should put the English version in one column and then the Ukrainian translation in the other column, just to help out this kid. And it did it. It put English on one side and Ukrainian on the other side. And I just asked it, translate it, and put the English in one column and the Ukrainian in the other. And the more you, they call this iterating, the more you iterate, like you tell it something, it's not quite what you want, and then you clarify. The more you clarify with these generative AI, the better your results will be as they come out. Okay, so that was that part. Let me go to another one. I had another one here. Is it at the top? Okay, I want to show you now questions before I move on. Anything in the chat, Lori? You can dump stuff in the chat too. Okay, thank you for filling out the PD hours form. I've got some emails to delete. I got to shut that off. So there are ways to automate these things, which is great. All right, so if you, I want to show you how to filter email. I use labels over here so that when I get emails from Apple or email from students or email from conferences, it will automatically come up with a label, and this can help you to sort. This is AI that has already existed in your Gmail, but I know some of you maybe hadn't seen this quite yet. And so I wanted to show you, let me get this. There we go. Okay. So if you go into, normally you would go ahead and click on an email and use it as a filter. So like if I wanted to take Wheeling conferences, I could click on that. And then inside the email, you can go to filter under the three dots there. And it'll say anything coming from Wheeling conferences. It puts it right in there. And I'm going to create the filter. And I can tell it to skip the inbox. I can tell it to apply a label. That's usually what I do. You can make a new label, or if you already have labels. You can forward it to a friend in your PLC because that would be funny. Probably shouldn't just have it automatically deleted. However, you might be getting emails from places that you do want it automatically deleted, but in that case, you should probably unsubscribe to whoever is sending you these things. So, and then you just create the filter, and the AI that exists within Gmail automatically filters these messages for you. I would have a hard time functioning without all of the bazillions of filters that I have going on with my email. So that is one way that you can control. In your calendar, on the side here, you may or may not know that you can turn on and off calendars. I have tons of calendars here. You can click it on and click it off. District 214 on, off. Like you can just.
If this translation is better than Google Translate. So I think she
Well,
means
it is, no, I guess we don't know if it's better than Google Translate. For me, does Google Translate give you like a document? I think Google Translate it'll just give you the text, right? The thing I like about this is that I can actually just like come in here and copy this, and paste it into a document for a student. I don't know. I guess the kid would have to read it and tell me.
There's a couple comments in the chat. So Alex says, I've used it a few times and it seems to work really well. I can't compare the translation though to Google Translate. And then Megan Baker said Google Translate opens a new doc and can translate a doc that way.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Thanks.
So we have options. That's great. And I'm assuming once we have Gemini loaded, that'll that'll make that easier as well. What else would you guys like to see today? I want you to go ahead and jump in and try a few things. I was hoping if you haven't tried this paperclip, if you've never attached anything and had it change it, translate it, compare it to something, that you would go ahead and try that today and see how that works. That was kind of my goal for workflow today. Other questions? We can dive in deep on Gmail and or calendar. Trying to see what else I had here. Oh, okay. I wanted to show you a couple more things in Gmail. Lori, cut me off if there's questions. Totally fine. All right. So when you go under compose, down here, there are all of these tools on the bottom in your Gmail that can help your workflow. This one here I have because I got Gemini ahead of everybody, but you're gonna have this soon, and it will help you write an email. But you can also over here under the three little dots, or it might be along the bottom, depending on how large you have your email. You can go over here and set up a time to meet, and it will offer times you're free. So when I click on that, it opens my calendar and I can tell it how long I want to meet for, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And I can just look through my calendar here and click a time and go down here. And then maybe I want to add another one. And I say, okay, well, maybe on Monday. Am I free at all on Monday? Oh, PS, look at my Monday. Good God. Okay. So 6 a.m. or I can say 3 p.m. 3 p.m. There we go. And it dumped the two times in here. And then I can add it to my email, which is beautiful. So I can type a little something here on the top, you know, I am free these times, or don't even. And it's automatically there. And when I send this to her, if she picks one, then it automatically adds it to my calendar. So we don't have to do the back and forth with the three emails, and then I go to my calendar and then I enter it in and then I add her, it just does it for you. So for people that are scheduling a lot of meetings or scheduling things with kids, even with students, let it go to their calendar so that they've got, accountability for when they said they're coming to meet you. That one I've been using a lot. Love that one. The other thing, yeah,
In
go
the
ahead.
chat, Katie, excuse me, Nicole Anderson would like you to go back to the recommendation creation part. She missed some of that. I think the teacher,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. So when I write a college rec, and I was looking here quick to see if I had one in here that it wrote. I've been using this since 2022, so I don't know, there might be one from the summer. But I'm not seeing it here. But what I was saying about that is that I go ahead and I'll show it to you. I just ask the kid for like whatever you ask your students to give you before you write their letter of rec. I ask them very specific things like, what are you going to bring to your college campus? And so I have them give me all of the information. And then you could either just kind of in draft form type up all that information, or I literally talk to text. I just open up notes on my MacBook and turn on the microphone and just dictate. Or you could just like dictate it into your phone and just take that dictation and plop it into generative AI and ask it to write a college letter of rec for you. And then the only thing I'm saying is just make sure that you don't have student information there. First names are fine. First name, last initial, fine, but no other student data should be in there. And you would say things like college, instead of U of I. You would say when Lori goes to college, have it like that, and then you can edit it after the fact. So for me, that is huge because even though I have this new role at district, I'm still writing letters of rec. I was a physics teacher up until May. And so I'm getting lots of requests for college letters of rec, like a lot of us do, and it's a huge time saver. It doesn't make it like instantaneous. I still have to craft this letter, but I'm just not an excellent writer in that way, and so I like for it to plop out the first iteration, and then I can go in and edit. And I feel okay with that because I asked the kid for the information. I put the information in. It's my voice. I'm talking, literally talking. Um, and it just makes it grammatically correct and in a nice order and flow. And I think that's okay. But I know people have moral dilemmas with college letters of rec. That's on you. Anything else? I am happy to stay. I have nothing else formal to show. I would be more than happy to dive deep into any of the Gmail calendar settings to show if you want to take a look, and feel free to unmute. Um, and make sure you get your PD hours. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen. Anybody else? Questions?
Lily asked for you to repeat the appointment times.
Ah, I got you.
And Diego put a nice comparison of ChatGPT and Google Translate in there for everyone. So take a look
Oh,
at that.
thank you. Thanks, Diego. Get you on the fly. All right, I think this is
And
the
there's some other good suggestions in there too. So take a look at the chat, everyone.
awesome. And then Zoom, in theory, uses AI to. Oh, see now, how come this didn't work? Zoom is being a jerk to me this morning. I keep trying to share and it doesn't want to share. It will summarize the chat for me, so I can send out some of those things, or I'll just go in and grab them. I am really, what is going on? It keeps telling me that my share screen is paused, and then I go to unpause it and it won't unpause. Can you see it, Lori? No? Start it. Okay, I'm going to show you. Hold on, give me one more try. This thing. Oh, haha, I see what it is. There we go. Jamf is telling me to update, and so it was blocking my screen. Yeah. And
Hey,
so,
Kate.
yeah.
This is Melissa. Earlier, you had said something about it would summarize all your calendars. Can you show us that?
Uh-huh. So what I would do is I would go to my calendar and I would go to print it. Uh so under set, like under this little settings tab,
Mm-hmm.
and I would choose a date range, right? And I would just send it off. I wouldn't actually print it. I would print a PDF. And so instead of destination being a printer, my destination would be a PDF.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll download your calendar as a PDF. And then you can add any other calendar. Like if you have your kids, whatever schedule, sports schedule, music lessons, whatever is happening. You could even take a picture of the calendar. It'll read handwriting. It's fantastic. And you would go to a new chat. So you click on this guy up here, and then you would attach your PDF. You could attach them both or three or five. I don't know how many calendars you have. Upload,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then so you'll have them all stacked there at the top. You'll see them similar to when I did this. You see my lab at the top. So
Okay.
you'll see all the PDFs like ding, 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 but don't hit enter yet. You're going to attach it, then write your prompt, whatever you want it to do.
Okay.
Look at my calendars for the month of October. Are there conflicts? You know, the gymnastics schedule is for my child who cannot drive. So make sure that that I'm free to drive, whatever you're
I
trying to do
see.
with all of your calendars, tell it, see what it does. And then if it's not quite right, give it another instruction. Like, oh, that's not what I thought. I wanted you to do this other thing. and just keep iterating and it'll get better and better. And then eventually you get better at writing the first prompt, the more we use it.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else? We got about 5 more minutes. If you want to take a deep dive into something, feel free.
Want me to put any of those links in the chat for people?
Yeah, sure. If you want to dump that list again. Thank
'Cause
you.
I didn't see it the first time, so
Oh, cool. Here.
I'll put it in there.
I think there's that. Here's some links to the website that I've been compiling, and then just some other links about opting out. The prompt library is fantastic. So I got that one. And yeah, if you've got any other links, Lori, besides that list. And then I will for sure grab some of those things out of the chat to share back out. All right. Well, if nothing else, feel free to hop off and have a great day. Oh my gosh, it's Friday. Next time we meet for this, I'm going to be talking about Classroom, like specifically Classroom and like how you can get your students to use it, things you might want to do for yourself, like for engagement activities and that sort of thing. So that'll be the next round. Thanks for coming. Have a great day.
Yeah, I was looking at mine. Yes, I see
Okay.
yours.
Okay, so here's my regular District 214 calendar. And if I click on the little three dots, I can go to settings and sharing
Okay.
and then make available to public.
So you must have to click off that.
Is
Maybe
yours
you're
on?
Where is that again? Where do you see
I
that?
just scrolled down.
Calendar settings, and then
Scroll down. And go scroll down here.
oh, scroll down here. Oh, here.
See it?
Okay, take this.
And then the other thing here, it says make available for 214, and you can,
Yeah.
whether or not you want people to see all the details or just
Yeah.
if you're free or busy.
Okay, great. Okay, that's fine.
I
Thank
leave
you.
mine free busy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Although I'm showing you mine. I only want 214 to see free busy. Here you go.
All
If
right.
it gives you anxiety, I'm so sorry.
Well, no, Francesco's like, Lily, I tried it. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, let's do this right now.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank
Anything
you.
else? I have time if you want to play around. We can look at stuff.
You're good. Thank you.
Okay. Have a
Bye-bye.
good day, guys.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Lori. I think